Now this, an editorial in a leading Israeli newspaper says, let the Saudis get a nuke. Here is an excerpt of it. Israel's response must be the opposite of its traditional line. It should warn that it will obstruct an Iranian nuclear monopoly in the Persian Gulf by helping Saudi Arabia obtain nuclear capability. Wow. Let's bring in Jay Sekulow with the American Center for Law and Justice and a leading voice in the Jewish community. Jay, has the world turned upside down?
Well, I think what's happened is the reality of ongoing negotiations with the Iranian regime, the Islamic Republic of Iran, have resulted in the fact that the Saudis are concerned that the proliferation of nuclear weapons by Iran, because no one believes that the Iranians are not going to get nuclear weapons through their so-called deal the president's engaged in, that the end result of that is that the rest of the region will get into an arms race. And the Israelis certainly do not want to be in a situation where they are the lone capable defense state in that region. So this is having exactly the opposite effect of what the president was proposing with this relation with Iran, was somehow going to curtail a nuclear arms race in the Middle East region. I think it's going to do exactly the opposite.
It sounds exactly like that, and that's what everybody is, of course, being fearful of. Let me also get from you about the fact that you've got this about 600,000 pages of red tape are going to be added, 600,000 pages added to the Federal Register over President Obama's 2 terms, and that is going to cost us. You've got a new book out called Undemocratic, and it's all about regulation. I'm glad you're addressing this because a lot of people kind of fog over when you start talking about, gee, there's a lot of regulation. You address it head on.
Yeah, well, the regulations are costing about $2 trillion a year right this moment. And I've written about this, and it covers a whole host of issues, including topics we've talked about today. So the purpose of Undemocratic was to get in and show to the American people, hey, here are the problems. Here's the government bureaucracy. There's a reason we have the Statue of Liberty surrounded by red tape. And that is this bureaucracy has come in such a force that what it's done, it's stifled the uniqueness of America. So when we talk about American exceptionalism, we've got a bureaucratic base, an unelected bureaucracy that is basically attempting, by the way, Tom, that includes the State Department, okay? The State Department, who's negotiating this deal with Iran, they are part of the bureaucratic mess that's inside the United States, and they've become the most powerful, the unelected bureaucrats, appointed by no one, voted on by no one. Yeah. The unelected bureaucrats have become the most powerful branch of government, and that's why in the book Undemocratic, I'm very clear at saying it's the bureaucracy that has to stop, and that's whether it's in the Middle East or it's in domestic policy here in the United States.
All right, mandatory beach reading, folks, because this is what we need to learn. Absolutely. Jay Sekulow, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You bet.